So I wanted to point something out to you guys. When it comes to makeup and eyeshadow, look at this eye makeup look versus what I'm wearing today. This eye makeup look was done with cool tones in a similar eyeshadow pattern as I have on today. It's not exactly the same, but it's kind of similar depth. There's not a ton of eye makeup that's really dark and heavy on either of these looks, but this one I used cool toned browns. For this eye makeup look today, I'm wearing warm toned browns. And when you buy eyeshadow palettes, typically they are either warm toned, cool toned, or neutral toned, or sometimes you can buy larger palettes that go, warm, neutral, and cool, but those are usually really big palettes that are like at least this size so that they can have several shades, several levels of darkness or depth, as well as the different ranges of tone of warm, cool, or neutral tone. For me, I feel like when I wear the cool toned eyeshadows, it tends to make me look more pale and my face overall kind of loses the color. So even though I'm wearing the same amount of blush, bronzer, contour, and lip color in today's makeup look and this makeup look, my face looks more pale and washed out or more flat than it does here today with the warm toned eyeshadows. And it's because the warm toned eyeshadows complement my skin tone and coloring better and my undertones than cool. I can get away with cool tones. They don't make me look like completely gray and sickly, but they can depending on your skin tone and just how dramatically warm or cool your skin tone is. If you're very, very cool toned, like somebody who has very, very pink undertones in their skin, or who burns really easily in the sun, or who just has a very cool skin tone, and you wear really, really warm eye makeup, it might clash a little bit. If you're somebody with really, really warm skin tones and you look very golden or you tan really easily in the sun, then you try to wear really cool toned eyeshadow, it might clash a little bit. If you're somewhere in the middle or you're olive, or you have an olive undertone, or you're a little bit closer to neutral, like you have some warm undertones or some cool, but you're not dramatically on the far end of the spectrum, you can still get away with it. It just might not make things look as bright and vibrant. And you might look just a little bit more washed out, or it might kind of almost absorb or flatten out a lot of the color that you add to your face. And that's what happens when I wear cooler toned eyeshadows. I can still get away with them and it still looks really neat with my blue eyes because I have like deep blue eyes, but it does tend to kind of absorb some of the color away from my face a little bit, and I tend to look just a little bit more pale or washed out when I wear the cool toned eyeshadows. So I just thought this was a good example to be able to illustrate the differences in tone and how your makeup can affect it. Figuring out what your skin tone is tricky, especially if you have kind of olive undertones. Like I have an olive undertone, which has taken me so much time to figure out how to get the right types of makeup and the right types of products or colors that look really, really nice. But it's not super dramatic and pronounced. I'm relatively neutral, but I lean a tiny bit more warm olive than cool olive. And the test with the veins, for example, helps me not at all, because I have purple, I have blue, and I have green. And I have probably more green than any, but there are some veins that I can find that are bluish or purplish. So the vein test doesn't help me. And with jewelry, gold is what I prefer to wear and I feel like is what looks best on me, but silver still pops and still looks really pretty on me and still looks bright. So that test doesn't really help me very much. And when I look at my cheeks or my face with no makeup on, sometimes there is a little bit of redness or pinkishness along my cheeks, which would indicate that I have a lean towards the cool end of the spectrum. But I tan really easily. When I'm in the sun, I get a nice golden tan very easily. I don't burn right away. I get warm and tan easier. And that was the biggest clue, paired up with the types of makeup that look most vibrant and best on my face. So for me, the way I figured it out was like, well, I'm obviously not an extreme case because so many of the tests don't really work for me. And I think when we talk about skin tone and trying to find your undertones, a lot of times we're looking for something really, really pronounced. And a lot of times the examples or the tests that people have online that they talk about, they're going to be very pronounced situations where it's like super obvious. And those people just have very strong undertones one way or the other that are either strongly cool or strongly warm. But if you don't fall into that category, like a lot of us do, because it's a spectrum, if you fall a little bit closer to neutral or the halfway point between warm and neutral or cool and neutral, then that means that some of those tests aren't going to give you your answer. So I have found in my personal experience that it was most helpful to think about what happens to my skin in the sun. Do I get pink, which would indicate I'm a little bit more cool, or do I warm up and get more golden? And I tend to really get golden very easily. And so that indicates to me I'm a little bit more on the warm side. But I almost never look super yellow because I am quite pale. You know, areas that don't get sun, I am pale. Versus like my hand, which gets sun, you know, just from normal day-to-day stuff, you can see is a couple of shades darker than these areas along my chest that don't get as much sun. So I don't feel like I'm a classic warm either. So it's very, very tricky. But apart from thinking about what happens in the sun is thinking about the makeup. When I look at my makeup done, my face makeup is done the exact same today as it was this day. And the lip color is almost exactly the same today as it was that day. The only difference is the eyeshadow color. And to me, I look more washed out here than I do here today. So that tells me that warm toned eye makeup is going to be more vibrant for me and can help me understand my skin tone a little bit better. So I hope that helps, because looking at two pictures that has just the change in what tone of eyeshadow can be very dramatic. So if you have some eyeshadow palettes laying around, then maybe, give it a try one day. Do your makeup the exact same. Try some cool toned eyeshadows, some warm toned eyeshadows. You could even do one eye one way and one eye the other way and kind of look in the mirror this way or take pictures like that so that you can really see which one you think looks more vibrant, and it might just help you figure out some of your skin's undertones. I hope that helps. I hope you enjoyed today's short little video, and I will see you next time. Have a happy day, everybody. Bye.